Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video we're talking about PlayStation Vita, N64, Nintendo Switch, and Atari Jaguar. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about PlayStation Vita emulation on Android with Vita3k. And no, the APK hasn't released just yet. However, I do have a very quick update. Mac2 has Summon Night 6 up and running at close to 30 frames per second and looking really good in the process. And as for Vita3k on PC, Jojo here was able to get Uncharted up and running using Vulkan and looking absolutely perfect. I don't know how it could look better than this. But moving on from that, we're talking about Atari Jaguar emulation with BigPEmu. BigPEmu just released and it's already got a brand new update. It is worth pointing out that the first release, version 1.0, was compatible with the entire Jaguar library. Version 1.01 adds in some stuff here. It adds in variable sized EEPROM support and also adds in Jaguar GD bank switching support, and there's a whole bunch of bug fixes. And interestingly enough, the developer states right in the changelog that they are going in for a major surgery tomorrow, which happens to be today. They will be unavailable and don't expect any updates for at least a couple of weeks. Honestly, I wish the developer the best of luck in surgery, and I hope everything goes okay and recovery is relatively trouble-free. I messaged the developer earlier today and asked them where the changelog was, and I didn't know they're going in for surgery, and they actually responded. The level of dedication for this developer is insane. Next up, we're talking about N64 emulation on PC with Simple64, and Simple64 just got a few simple updates. So version 2022.12.1 just dropped, and it adds in support for homebrew ROM header, and it also simplifies core options. And version 2022.12.2 just dropped, which is the one you should probably pick up because it fixes an issue that was caused in 2022.12.1 with NetPlay. And next, we're still talking about N64 emulation on PC, but this time with RMG. RMG stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or it stands for Rosalie's Mupen GUI. Version 0.2.3 just dropped, and it adds in an updater and Discord-rich presence. And yes, this is free and open source, and I'll drop a link to the GitHub in the description below. Next up, we're still talking about Nintendo, but going up a few generations and talking about Switch emulation on PC with Yuzu. Yuzu mainline version 1262 just dropped, and it adds in a whole bunch of changes and improvements. The biggest improvements from an end user experience have to deal with Pokemon Legends Arceus and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It fixes the camera intersecting objects and also fixes rendering of distant objects. Interestingly enough, we talked about these in yesterday's video because they were in early access version 3186. It really only took a day to go from early access to prime time. And speaking about prime time, Ryujinx, the other Switch emulator on PC, also got a ton of updates today. Version 1.1.441 is the latest version that released. Version 1.1.440 fixes grass particles in the wind in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it might fix similar issues in other games. And last up, we're still talking about Switch emulation, but switching over to Android with Skyline, and the mainline build of Skyline also got a brand new update. If you head to skyline-emu.1 and click on download, you can see the latest version at the time of filming is version 1574. Someone has Shin Megami Tensei up and running at a solid 30 frames per second, and apparently it's running better in the mainline build of Skyline as opposed to Skyline Edge. And Skyward Sword HD is looking a heck of a lot better. For those of you with Mali GPUs, you'll be happy to know that someone with a Mali G68 has Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu up and running between 15 to 25 frames per second. They do say it's kind of playable, and for a turn-based game, I might tend to agree with that just a teeny bit. And this is a MediaTek Dimensity 900. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a ton today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.